So, go ahead, please.
Your turn. Last week I had a long conversation with an investment company that only will buy all the class B or C soils. They want to turn those into the clay D or A type soils. And
Yes.
he said, how's Hemp going to help you do it? Okay. And I know it will, but I need that to show the effects on the soil. So these guys are investing hundreds of millions of dollars for soil.
Yes.
And trying to bring it.
Great point, Steve.
They're more concerned about how can I raise the value of this farm than what the price of hemp is.
Of course.
That's
Sure.
the goal.
Yes.
So I'm going to repeat the questions. Can everybody hear the?
Yeah, you can repeat the
So
question.
the question basically for those that are online was, investment company is interested in purchasing C or B quality ground that they can turn into B or A ground, and is hemp a viable option? The answer is, I believe it is, and here's why. Jesse has the best example on his farm that he's taking, ground that was, by some considered, not the best ground in their area, showing that they can produce an exceptional crop on that. So imagine if that, regenerating that, and the study that they're going to be doing over the next several years is hemp over hemp with some biosolids on that is, I think that ground is only going to get better. I believe, as a guy that's going out and trying to find ground, I can produce average or better than average yields with fiber. I can afford to pay a little bit more than a row crop farmer can potentially. My inputs are potentially a little bit less. My seed costs are going to be higher, but in the end, I believe I can end up going out and gaining market share and helping landowners turn C ground into B ground, or C ground into A minus ground, or B ground into A ground. I think there's absolutely viable for that. So that not only, we're doing two things. We're helping landowners potentially transition their fields to an organic process, if that is a direction they want to go. B, I think we can help them increase the value of their land. And a little piece that we haven't chatted about, but there are carbon credit opportunities with hemp. Hemp is if you don't know, it is an amazing carbon sequester. So we have the ability to probably turn some of this ground, and we have to prove it out, obviously, but I think it's absolutely viable, and it's a land acquisition strategy for sure.
How does hemp improve the land value?
I don't know that hemp directly improves the land value. It's that we're improving the soil quality. I think that hemp will improve the soil.
So the productivity index is increasing because of organic matter?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's the goal. So in terms of like the field that we did across, we did one field where it was productivity index was 91. It was rolling hills, and it was just sprayed and wrecked year over year for decades by a sharecropper. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to take a real world C grade soil or worse, and we wanted to put it through the paces. So we we applied a great deal of slow release on it, and 240 N rate, which certainly a little bit more than I think what you need. But what we've seen in terms of compaction, and we're in Beecher, where we have a lot of Beecher silt loam, heavy clay, and the compaction reduction has been tremendous because we're dealing with a 6-foot taproot. We're dealing with an ultra high density of planting rate. So it's not like corn on 30-inch rows or anything. We're dealing with 6-inch centers or 2.5-inch centers, 7-inch centers, and you're putting up to 1 million plants per acre. So the reduction in compaction is tremendous, and then of course the residual root system that's left there after you harvest has a great deal of benefit as well. So in terms of improving soil health, the compaction side is great, adding organic matter is tremendous because you have this beautiful, great, thick foliage that you're cutting down when you harvest, that by the time you actually rake it and ted it, that foliage is back absorbed into the soil, not going into your bales. So there's definitely some, definitely tonnage there. The uptake of toxins has been proven to be tremendous. So in terms of the uptake of heavy metals, absolutely no doubt, hemp is the #1 crop to perform any remediation of soil. They planted it around Chernobyl. They planted it in the most toxic places on Earth, specifically for that reason. The uptake of PFAS chemicals has now been confirmed by a Michigan State study. So I heard you did research that. That was the big question really leading up into this year. And there's a lot more research that needs to be done on it. But we've now seen that these forever chemicals that apparently nothing can take out of the ground, hemp can actually take out of the ground. And we're going to be really anxious in the coming year to see what kind of hard data we can pull from that, in terms of exactly how much it's pulling from the ground and what sort of quantities. So without a little bit more research in that, we're not going to see. But the fact that it is uptaking it is super promising, because we can now encapsulate those toxins into concrete, right? So if you're doing a brownfield remediation, that crop specifically cannot ever go into a supply chain anywhere, encapsulating it in concrete is an ideal opportunity to permanently remove these toxins from the soil.
Yeah. So a lot of benefits there. Yeah, a lot of benefits. And there's some programs that Jesse is spearheading some of these programs with some of the different public universities and also municipalities, and we're getting some real good data.
Yeah, we are. We're doing some work with some early work with Metropolitan Water Reclamation District on some of their lands and some of their goals with regard to what they're doing. The measuring the uptake and doing a lot of tissue sampling right now from this last year's crop. The next year we're applying for a larger acreage grant, which we feel confident in, where we're going to be able to do some large acreage remediation analysis and really get some large data that's applicable to farmers around the world at the same latitude, rather than just for our Beecher community, right? So that's kind of the next step in that. This was the pilot fields this last year and years up till now, and then now we're kind of going into the implementation phase plan. So.
Well, Jesse, did you say that the leaves fall off the hemp plants and they don't get harvested, so that's adding to their organic matter?
So it does add, yeah. So it does add to the organic matter. By the time you actually look at your bale, you don't have a bunch of foliage in there. The foliage is one of the interesting things that happens when nitrogen stops being uptake by the plant. It no longer needs the foliage, right? So as the hemp or cannabis plant grows throughout the season, during the vegetative day and the early part of the season, it's taking up as much nitrogen as it can, and it's growing like a son of a gun. The second that it goes into the flowering stage, nitrogen uptake stops like a brick wall, and it starts uptaking phosphorus and potassium at a much higher rate. So what we're looking for in terms of nutrients is like slow release, right? We're looking for things that are going to actually continue to release throughout the year and benefit it. So hopefully, did I answer your question partially?
Yeah, I think you
okay.
Yeah.